Hey! Hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing Supergirl. Who is Superwoman? Take a look at this comic cover right here. Now, who is Superwoman is part of the New Krypton collection. That actually says right here. A Superman New Krypton collection. Well, that helps us out. So it does tie into the New Krypton story arc that goes on with Superman. Whether or not that dampers and makes it hard for the reader to enjoy the story or not, I'll get into at the end of the review. But all you really need to know right now is this takes place during the New Krypton material. Now, there's kind of two stories in this. One story is only an issue long, but it's still important to mention. The other story is obviously the Who is Superwoman story. So, the first issue deals a lot with what's been happening with Kara as Supergirl up until this point. See, Supergirl isn't perfect. She's not Superman. She makes tons of mistakes, and she's not liked by everyone. This is a theme that I've been bringing up a lot in the previous Supergirl story arc. She is not perfect. There's a lot of growing that she needs to continue to do. What makes the character so fun is just the fact that she starts off at point A and she goes to point S. You know, the S on the chest. So, this is pretty prevalent because not everyone likes her in the DC universe. A lot of the general public see her as just a second-rate Superman that they shouldn't even pay attention to. And this goes so far to the press because the Daily Planet slams her. Kat, the writer Kat, brings the hammer down. If you remember Kat, she's a long-lasting Superman character. First appeared, I believe, in the Man of Steel series. That's the first time I've seen her, so... But she brings a hammer down on Supergirl, just saying how useless and how much she screws up and why the world doesn't need her and that kind of stuff. And it just absolutely devastates Supergirl. And it really makes Supergirl come to a realization that just because she has the S on her doesn't mean that she is liked by everyone. That doesn't mean she's perfect. She still needs to grow, and at least here she starts to realize this. Where in the previous story arc, she still kept kind of that youthful, idealistic, perfect world kind of ideals that she had. Eventually, it takes Superman and Lana Lang to kind of bring Supergirl out of this rut. Lana Lang more than anyone. This is where Lana Lang starts to redeem herself after the LexCorp shit that she pulled off. At least in my eyes, this is where she's starting to redeem herself. So that's really the first issue. Important, but short. Second story, which would be the Who is Superwoman story. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to spoil who Superwoman is. Although if you read it and you pick up on the subtle hints, it's pretty easy to figure out who it is. So, with that said, Supergirl is traveling back and forth between New Krypton and Earth, and she's torn between her duties on Earth and her duties to her mom. See, she's trying to constantly prove herself to her mom, but at the same time try to be Supergirl. In addition to that, her mother gives her a mission to go find the man that killed her father. Which was a character that was introduced back in Supergirl Beyond Good and Evil, I believe. So she goes to Earth, try to get this guy, but things just not working out the way she wants it to. In addition to that, Superwoman shows up. Now, Superwoman originally was kind of a friend to Supergirl, kind of an ally, but eventually we find out all the shady stuff Superwoman's doing, like killing people and beating the shit out of Supergirl and all that kind of stuff. She's not really a nice person. So Supergirl is now making it her mission to find out who is Superwoman. Is she Kryptonian or is she not? Does she work with villains? Does she work with the government? Does she work for a secret society? Or does she work for Krypton and Supergirl just doesn't know it? All these questions obviously get answered in this. In addition to that, you really get to see kind of a small little subplot with Lana Lang. You know, coughing up blood and all that shit, and that plays into the future Supergirl stuff. Because Lana Lang goes through a personal transformation, which you'll see. But it doesn't happen in this, so don't worry. So on to the good, the bad, and whether or not you should get it. Well, good. For a story itself, I really liked the first issue. I thought the first issue was nice. It really touched upon a lot of the themes that were building up with Supergirl. And with the actual main story, I enjoyed it. I thought it had good action. Just good. I thought they were true to Supergirl as a character, making her vulnerable and naive and young, while still making her a super character. So that was good too. I don't think the mystery was so, whoa, really, I didn't see this person coming. But it wasn't like, well, I know who it is right away, kind of like in Batman Hush. So, on a whole, the story worked. It was okay. The art was nice. which was also a good part, and I really like how they're building up some of Supergirl's villains and really making them actually cool villains. Downside, well, like I said before, this ties into the New Krypton stuff, and if you didn't read New Krypton, this could be kind of hard to read. That doesn't mean it's impossible to read, because at this point that I'm reviewing this, I have not read the Superman New Krypton stuff. I kind of look through the pages because, you know, I like doing that sometimes, but really I haven't read it yet, so I went into this kind of a little blind with a few topics. Was it impossible? No, I pieced a lot of stuff together. It did ruin a few things for the New Krypton stuff. So, on a whole, if you're going to read this, you should probably read it after you read Superman New Krypton. If you read both Supergirl and Superman. If you read Supergirl exclusively, then just go right into it. But it does tie heavily into the New Krypton stuff, so it's kind of like, you know, give and take. It's really up to you. There are a few things that you should probably read New Krypton first in order to understand this. Other downsides, well, as good as the story could be, it's not fantastic. I think this is, what the thing is about, if you look at Supergirl as a comic, look at her starting off with Supergirl Power. We have Supergirl Power, and it starts off such a high note, then Supergirl Candor kind of goes, and then we have Supergirl Identity, which brings it back up. Beyond Good and Evil kind of stays at a level playing field, so, you know, Supergirl Identity, then Beyond Good and Evil, and then Way of the World, and we'll keep on going up, and then we're kind of just staying level with who is Superwoman. Nothing's getting better, but nothing's getting worse. It's just kind of there. It's still enjoyable. It's still fun. I enjoyed it. But I didn't see any improvement like we've been seeing with some of the Supergirl stuff. On a whole, I would give this like a 7.5 out of 10 if I had to rate it. I don't like rating stuff because it's really all opinionated. You might like it more than I do, but from my opinion, from my point of view, I think this is an okay Supergirl story. It's not bad, not good. It's just okay. So, if you do get it, I do recommend heavily reading New Krypton before this. At least Volume 1 and 2. I think Volume 3 is out and Volume 4 is coming out. Wow, that was a lot to say. But, yes, mediocre Supergirl story has some really good points into it, but it didn't really do too much on other points. So, it's really up to you. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.